Hello and welcome to the Ham Radio Guy podcast. We're going to do our first radio review here with Radioddity. This will be the GA510. Allegedly, this is a 10-watt radio. So let's do a little unboxing here and see what we got. So we got the manual, of course. The radio itself. I've not taken this out prior. I've just taped the box. Got the radio here. We've got the battery in the package. Put that together in a second. Set the cabling aside. We've got, looks like a programming cable here. We've got a set of earphones and earbuds for this thing. The antenna. Looks like a little 12-volt charging base station for the battery. The charging cable. Battery clip and lanyard. And it looks like a second battery for this. So not too bad. Let's get the box out of the way. We'll toss that to the side. And let's see what this radio looks like powered up. Again, first time doing this. Haven't checked it out yet. So, looks like pretty easy. Snaps in. Slides right up. Get the antenna on it here. And let's turn this on and see what it looks like.
Welcome.
So I think you can see that in the first part there. It's got VHF on both sides.
Menu.
I'm trying to figure we can go A band, B band. We can flip back and forth. We've got our VFOs there. It looks like it goes all up into 155. I think we can all see that on the screen there a little bit. It's got a nice bright backlight to it. And
On.
We will come back.
well, there we go. It's even got a digital radio. You can
post-game
get into that. So that's pretty good. Normal PTT. You can program the priority button up there if you want. So let's dive into this a little deeper and see what the how hard it is to program it and do whatever. We'll review that a little bit more here and see what else we can do to get this programmed. So after spending some time with the GA510 from Radioddity here, I have gone through and done some manual programming. I'll see if I can get this close enough to the camera so you can see this. You can get the menu here. Get back to actually the menu, go back. There we go. So I've got the VFO mode, go to memory mode, and you can, scroll through the channels. And, I've got, like simplex in there. It may or may not be easy to see with the backlight on. Channel 2, I've got like a low record repeater in there. I've been messing around with this a little bit, and one of the things that I found is that going in the menu, and you really have to, it took a few minutes to figure this out, was that once you go into menu, you get in and you're back into that. Let me back up one more time. Get back into VFO mode, go into menu. Let's say we want to program a local repeater in here. So we'll do 145.70. So it fills in the zeros. I got the numbers in there. Again, it may be a little tough to see with the backlight being on. And then once I go into menu, and then I start to go through a menu of settings, from receive and coded tone squelch. You have to hit menu again, and then you can go in and choose your coded tone that you would have for that repeater. I think that one might be 110. You choose that, you back out of that, and you could go up to your next coded tone squelch again. I'll put 110 in there. I'm sorry, 114 I think it is. And you've got like voice prompts on, your DTMF, squelch code, scan modes, other things you can go into. A key auto lock, a direction you have to hit whether it's a minus or a plus, so you have to set your repeater offset that way. And then your offset comes in here. I've got that set 00.600, and we've got memory channel. We're going to program it in to hit memory. So you're going to highlight that section. We're going to hit memory channel 3 going up. Hit menu.
Receiving memory.
So it says it's received in memory now. Let's go to VFO, and we show that's in memory. So that is the manual mode way of programming this radio. You got to do, it's all very menu driven. It seems like it's not very intuitive. I did find something and put this down. I'll show you in the manual for just a second here. And right here in their own words, they indicate manual programming is somewhat difficult until you get used to it, especially when programming in duplex channels. Note that the ANI S code IDs can only be set from a computer when programming channels, and it's important to remember that you can only save memory channels when working on the upper display in the VFO mode. So, and then the other part is once you get into VFO mode, you select your desired receive frequency in the numerical keypad, typing in like I just did. After that, use the menu system to configure the finer details of the channel you're wanting to program to memory, such as transmit power, bandwidth, code, tone, squelch, digital code, squelch, and more. So, again, very memory or very menu driven. Not a big fan of that myself. It does have a lot of features in here. A lot of screen indicators. It was very nice to see the main display here and what some of the symbols were. They had like a musical tone here. Said when the DTMF was set to one of its settings, the symbol appears. You can obviously see what it says DCS plus or minus, your offsets, whether the box has been turned on or off, the keyboards have been locked, those sort of things. Your battery indicator, most your typical icons, but the again, LED is bright, nice. It seems like it's a very durable radio. It is a 2200 milliamp battery. I think that does does seem to carry a little bit of weight on it itself. That I think that's pretty valuable. I do like that. It's probably an everyday, it could be a simple everyday carry. We're going to check out the programming of it as well. I'll show you on screen what that looks like, where that comes from, how hard it is to download some of the programming. We'll get into that. We'll see if we can even do this from a Mac system versus Windows. So that may be a little bit of a delay there. But again, does it come with that programming cable that was just off to my side here and done via USB, and very similar to a Kenwood or Baofeng. It just plugs into the side there. Pretty easy to do there. Charging, not USB-C or anything like some of the other newer radios may be. Seems to fit pretty well in the charger. I have not charged this up yet, but the battery life comes with a pretty full battery here so far. It seems like it's again pretty durable. The volume seemed to be good. From like what I can hear in the voice prompts, I've not used it personally yet for hearing the audio coming from another station. We'll see what we can pull up from that as well and try and test that as part of this video series here. So we'll see where we go from here. We'll try and do some programming online and see if we can expedite this programming of this radio with a few more channels. All right, well, welcome back. We're on the programming page now of things, and you'll see that I've got the programming code plug software from Radioddity upload here to the page. You can come down here to the Radioddity page, and you find the GA510, and you can click on the 2023 code plug software for new versions only. Go ahead and download that, run the software installation setup, and then we'll get back into that page of where we've already got. Now, the radio did have a number of other frequencies and channels already listed here in this, and I've kind of deleted those out and got rid of them, not the ones I want in there specifically. I'm going to go ahead and stick one more in there, and we're going to find that from a local repeater here, where I'm at here near Kansas City currently. I'm going to type that one in, 146.790. It kind of gives me that, and I'll do a quick tone. And it says that tone is 107. And shouldn't really need done. Where power is put on high, and everything else should be good through there. Oh, we do need the transmit frequency as offset as well. And let's see where this more comes out at here. There we go. Let's do a channel. We can also click on here, do a channel edit. Some reason it looks like it is giving me the difference of the frequency direction is not letting me choose that. And I do the 146.79, do an offset of that. Should be 146.19. So we'll, oh, type that wrong. There we go. So that should be in there now. So we should have that in there. And we'll have the radio plugged in here. And I'll pull up the video on that. So you can also see the programming at the same time as the radio will be able to go into programming mode here as we go up here on the screen. When you have read and you want to have write, we're going to go ahead and write to this radio, and we should start to see this update. Now you can see it go into program mode. And the computer screens continue doing an update on that. And the little red light should be on the top blinking. It refreshes. It's got my frequencies in there. Now go to the radio and we can start to change the 4 frequencies in there we've got. So we've got the 4 of them in there that I have. They're all matching. And you can set this up for VFOA, VFOB. You could do UHF on one side and VHF on the other on the different VFOs. And of course, we can go in here and do your frequency ranges. You've got your VFOA. You can program those too. You can create your channel aliases, put all your names in there if you want. Just going into some general settings. You can do a preset icon if you want. Do a preset message. So we could do that as like your call sign. Oh, we're going to be short on this. Battery's running low. That happens. Squelch levels, your language, English, any alarms you have. You could do your scan types, your DTMF codes, your backlighting. It is nice to have that. It does help a little bit. It's easier to see in person than it is on the computer and the video here. You can do code plugged locks if you want, so no one else can come in and reread your radio and steal from it. So there's some of your basic settings you have. And then if you have DTMF and code system, you can put your codes in there as well for that. So it is a very basic setup program. There's no APRS or GPS stuff you have to program here as part of this radio. So overall, it is pretty simple. But we tried to do this on a Mac, and it was very difficult to do. It was not letting us, giving us all kinds of read-write errors. Not able to read the USB device. Did this also with Chirp, and even though Chirp says it supports it, we were not able to get the USB device to communicate with Chirp. So we had to use the Radioddity software. Not sure if that's proprietary at this point, but Chirp says it is supported, and certainly feel free to write me back in comments on this if you do find that Chirp does work for it. Maybe it's something I was doing wrong. But would love to hear from you on this. Overall, I think it's a pretty decent radio. It's an upgrade from a Baofeng. It's not to the level of ICOM or maybe a Yaesu radio, but for a good basic starter radio, it is a great radio for that. Definitely recommend programming this with a computer software with their code plug. Would not recommend this by manual, but I do believe that it does serve its just initial basic purpose. But my preference would be to have a radio with APRS, and that's having that ability built into my radio for different events. But again, if you want to program this with some frequencies and GMRS or something that somebody could just simply have, and you could throw to them and say, hey, run down here and tell me when the train stopped or something. I mean, you could do that through an emergency of some sort, and that would certainly work and have this durable radio. Don't really know what the waterproof or dustproof level of this is, but it seems it would be pretty decent. I do like their larger batteries. You do get 2 of them in the package, and as I kind of stated initially on the opening of the display, but this is the overview of the Radioddity GA510 radio, and I do believe it's a great radio overall. Again, a little difficulty in programming manually, or getting another program like Chirp or something to do it with an Apple computer. It does require Windows, and that was my biggest challenge, or my biggest gripe. My con to this radio would be in some of the programming on it. It seems like it could be a little easier, but it is functional other than that. Anyway, thank you for listening to this review of the Radio GA510, and feel free to leave comments on it, and hope to hear you more on my podcast. Subscribe to the Ham Radio Guy today, and thank you for joining us. Become a patron with us at buymeacoffee.com/The Ham Radio Guy, and reach out to us if you have any questions or comments. And for now, I say stay tuned and stay above the noise. I am W0MET, The Ham Radio Guy, 73.